We've got our news of the week coming up. It is brought to you by Eagle Mortgage. They know mortgages, have known mortgages for well over 30 years. FHA, VA, conventional, some specialty loans. They do that. They do a great job of it. Now that it's March, spring is essentially here in a few days, although it's felt like spring for the last 6 weeks. You're probably thinking, okay, maybe I'm going to get a house. This is the time of year where people start to get that new house fever. And some people have said, I don't want to buy houses because the interest rates are higher. I don't want to get a house because there's a lack of inventory. Work with Eagle Mortgage. The interest rates are not as bad as you may have been led to believe. Sometimes we build these things up in our head worse than they are historically. They're still very, very low, and Eagle Mortgage will take good care of you. 114th in Davenport or online at eaglemortgagecompany.com. I've got a couple quick news items, and then we have a surprise for everyone as part of the news. But first of all, U.S. Census Bureau has released population data just this week for metro areas, indicating the growth between summer of 2022 and the summer of 2023. Omaha's growth rate was 0.78% estimated, which is pretty good. It's actually grew faster than Lincoln. Usually smaller markets tend to grow a little faster, but Lincoln did great. Omaha grew at 0.78. Lincoln did 0.68%. Kansas City Metro grew at 0.57. So the total population in the Omaha Metro is now estimated as of last summer to be just under 984,000 people. But Jorge, the Omaha combined statistical area, which includes Fremont, as defined by the U.S. Census Bureau, 1,021,000 and some change. So we're getting there.
We're getting there.
We're going to hit that official MSA of over 1 million probably in about 2 years, because kind of got a feeling that the growth rate is going to accelerate from this year over the next 2 years. Hey, real fast, the Omaha Airport Authority received or is receiving a $7 million grant thanks to the work of Senator Deb Fischer and Congressman Don Bacon. This will be essentially a drop in the bucket of the $950 million terminal modernization plan, but every little bit helps. First of all, it's kind of funny to think of $7 million as a little, but it's going towards the International Arrivals Hall, which has got a lot of us very excited because it looks like there's a pretty good possibility that in 2028, 2029, somewhere around there, we might actually have our first scheduled nonstop international flight to and from Eppley.
Grow Omaha Spring Break Edition.
Well, Jorge, we're going to take a little diversion in the news, and I don't think we normally do this, but for this next news story, we're going to talk about the Duo, which is a really cool project in downtown, and we're going to have a celebrity guest newscaster come on the show right now and help us dissect this Duo report. Jorge, would you like to introduce our celebrity guest newscaster?
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor to present live in studio the legendary Mayor Gene Stouthert.
Good morning, Mayor.
Good morning. Legendary, I'm not sure, but thank you. It's good to be here bright and early on Saturday morning.
Well, we always love having you on the show, and believe me, we've got a list of questions to ask you, but we wanted you to come on as part of the news because this week you hosted a press conference along with Todd and Mary Heastan of New Style Development talking about the Duo,
Yes.
which is going to completely change the Central Park Plaza Twin Towers downtown.
Absolutely. What an exciting announcement, too. You know, this is something we've been working on for quite a while. But Central Park Plaza, if people don't recognize the name, we call it the Twin Towers downtown, too. I always liked it because it looks so great at night when it's lit up. But, you know, it's office space now. City Ventures did own it, but Todd Hested recently, I think the contract was just finalized a week or so ago. He bought the structure. And, you know, things have really changed. When it was originally with City Ventures, it was going to be office space like it is now. Things have changed, you know, especially in an urban core with office space. And not with the Mutual Tower, that's for sure. But they decided to make it into apartments. And it'll be over 700 apartments right in the core of downtown. And if people aren't familiar with New Style, Todd and Mary Heasted, they are known for taking structures that were meant for something else and rehabilitating them, redeveloping them. You know, they did it with the Breakers, which is the old OPPD power plant, the bank, which is the old Wells Fargo building. The Atlas, over 700 apartments. That's the old Creighton Hospital. If he could make 700 apartments out of the old Creighton Hospital, Todd could do just about anything. And so we're really excited about this. Like I said, there'll be over 700 apartments total. The city will build and operate a garage that will be behind where the structure is. And on top of that garage will be some additional apartments, over 100 apartments there. But the project is valued at $163 million. And because it is on the streetcar line, and Todd made it very, very clear yesterday that he would not be doing this without the streetcar running by it, because it's much more efficient for him. He has to build less parking. But because it's on the streetcar line, the agreement is the first 15 years, 25% of his TIF will go to the streetcar. TIF loans are 20-year loans. And then the last 5 years, 100% of that TIF will go to the streetcar. So that's exactly what we knew would happen and what we had planned to happen with the streetcar. And here's some other news that I think is really interesting, that when we had the funding model for the streetcar really scrubbed by this company out of Baltimore, it was called Municap, they estimated that we would get $2 billion worth of new development on the streetcar line in 15 years. At the end of this year, we are already at $1.2 billion. Already this year, and it's not even built yet. So we are absolutely seeing what we predicted would happen with that increased development along the streetcar line, and then that development pays for the streetcar.
You know, it's interesting that you mentioned that, because I can remember, Mayor, when that first $2 billion number was floated out there. My first thought was, we're going to destroy that.
Yes.
Because the starting attributes along that line for a city our size are remarkably good for a streetcar. And knowing just how much Omaha is committed to growth and development and what we've got in the pipeline, yeah, sky's the limit for that route.
You know, Todd Hested, he even said during our press conference that he owns the surface parking lot on Farnham, which is just west of 19th Street. So Wells Fargo uses it now. Mm-hmm. And he's been holding on to that surface lot for many years, saying that he will build maybe a 4-story apartment building along there without streetcar, because he has to build so much parking. But now that the streetcar is coming, he is going to build maybe 8 stories or 10 stories of apartments because the advantage of the streetcar along that line. And so that's just another example of what is happening and what we know is happening. So the streetcar is going to move forward, and we know that it will be able to be funded. Now, if we're going to move to the streetcar sometime soon on this show, I'll be happy to talk about where we're at with that.
Oh, we will.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That's a topic of a lot of conversation
Yes.
around here. Going back to the Duo, you mentioned the parking garage on the west side.
Yes.
That would require the demolition of what some people remember as the old Park Fair Mall.
Yes.
Yes, for you youngsters, that was actually a functional, regular suburban-style mall in the middle of downtown for a while. It's been indoor parking lately. But so the demolition of that and the rendering that New Style released, if you kind of look around the south side of the South Twin Tower, you can kind of see it. And with that parking garage and the apartment levels above it, it looks like a 10-story building to me. That will change the face of 16th Street there.
It definitely will, and we have plans for 16th Street too. That's something that we've been working on for some time. But the important thing is we don't know how many stalls that are going to be in that garage quite yet, because once again, parking is important to us downtown, and we want to make sure we have enough but not too much. And we own the garage across the street from there too. So we've got to determine how much that garage across the street would be used by the tenants in that building and then already used, and then we'll determine what the size of that new parking garage will be. Probably 300 to 500 stalls in there, somewhere around there. But the city does build garages for developments a lot, and we build them because they cash flow for us, and we pay for it with the revenue they produce. We buy them or pay for them with revenue bonds. The one thing about garages is the cost of garages has gone up so much. It is unbelievable. When I was first mayor, cost of a garage was about $24,000 a stall. That's what we just estimated, and now it's over $40,000 a stall, and that's pretty average.
That's
I
right.
mean, that's construction cost and material costs. So garages are a lot more expensive than they used to be, but we build them when we know we can cash flow them, and they pay for themselves.
If you like this video, be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. And remember, Grow Omaha is not just media. This is a mission. We are trying to build up Omaha and make it an even better place. We can only do that with your help. Share this video with your friends, neighbors, and family.